Oh! I have a quest. Krogan Betrayal. Find Spender on the Nexus. Let's do that. Okay. I've still got First Murder. Still can't save, I don't think. No. Hopefully be able to save soon. I don't like having too many autosaves, because autosaves just kind of put you where they think you need to be.
We haven't really spoken since orientation, have we?
It's all been so hectic, but I'm sure things will quiet down soon. Can't be worse than the Nexus.
Maybe if I switch it. Oh, now I can save. Okay, good. So I'll save and then we'll talk to PEEBEE. Alright. I also went and upgraded people, by the way. So skills have been changed. No need to worry. I would like to take this moment before we go and talk to PEEBEE to thank the people in the audience below for letting me know that likely the reason... I don't remember who specifically it was. One specific person did. Put their name up there, future me. And we will say thank you to them. For letting me know that the reason that I probably haven't been able to save on non-story critical missions is because I have a tendency to try and save near doorways. Or in doorways. And the Mass Effect games have not let you do that ever. Because the game developers knew that if you did that, the odds of you loading into and then violently flinging yourself through the map were so much more likely. So you can't. Which is fine, and I'm glad that they did that. I just wish I'd known, so that I wasn't standing in doorways going, why can't I save? I like to save near doors because they're like... It's a natural end point, I guess, so that I pop in and I go, I was going this way. So now I guess I'll have to stand outside of a door, or back up and then face the door so I know, in case that's one of the saves where I secretly leave and load in. Alright. I think that this... Yeah, that's the loadout. So let's go and bother PEEBEE.
You're setting up in here, huh? Yeah, I'm going through what we got out of that vault.
Not very big
If
room.
I can crack this data storage box, it'll help with a personal project back on the Nexus. This is a nice, out-of-the-way place where I can tinker, and I can sleep anywhere. It's not exactly homey, but I like that about it. Not really looking for a home. Oh, but I will help you find everyone a home. While I'm with you, at least.
Let's be respectful.
Should I consider you a temporary addition? Everything's temporary, Ryder. I get it. You want to know who's on your ship, so you're here to figure out what makes me tick, right? Something like that?
Sort of.
Sure. Well, I was born in a log cabin on rural Haitiana to simple but loving parents, just trying to... I look forward, not back, Ryder. Why snooze through my life story? Get to know me out in the field while we're uncovering the mysteries of this galaxy. That's why I'm here. Got tired of yawning back home.
I'm not going to. But PEEBEE, the past does make people who they are now, and so asking about, what happened beforehand will really help at least, well, don't know how the other species work in this, but it helps humans figure out who people are, and whether or not they should be aware of things like, say something awful happened to you at some point, for example, and I bring up something in a similar vein without knowing that it's something that bothers you, and you go off the handle. If you told me, then I'd know, and I wouldn't do it because I'm not an asshole. You should try sleeping more. Or boredom drove you here. I feel like she'd like the more playful answer. I would flirt, but I have a feeling that PEEBEE's the kind of person who would either get really upset if I did that, or she'd be like, sure, let's do, and then I'd be dating her, and I don't want to do that.
Maybe you just needed more sleep. We were out for 600 years. A special someone made the trip with me, and she woke up a different person. I've slept enough. Ryder, the Milky Way was so... been there, done that. Even if I hadn't done it, someone had. If there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I live for the unknown. For the never been done.
I'm not buying it, but I'm not going to be hostile towards her. Also, that tells me so much. You're like Liam, except instead of not being able to cope, you went, fuck this shit, and turned into the equivalent of, like, a live grenade. So I guess we just have to wait until the fuse either fizzles out or goes off.
Well, congratulate yourself. No one has ever so successfully dodged my attempts to get to know them.
Yes, I'm number one! Buy me a drink sometime. Who knows what will spill out of my mouth.
Booze?
Then again, I need remnant scrap. Remtech, I call it. For projects like the one I mentioned, which you're gonna love, by the by. Promise to bring me what you scrounge, and I'll submit to all your questions.
Remtech, huh? You got it.
Cool. Alright, I don't know how much she'll tell me, if anything, based on that, but we can talk to PEEBEE while she's miming an object and looking at me evilly.
You again. Want to hear more about my childhood log cabin?
Possibly. What do you think of our crew?
So, how do you like the team?
Interesting bunch. I get a good feeling from Vetra. Not your typical military-minded Turian. Liam seems a lively one. I expect he'll surprise me. Drek is, well, old. Wonder if he can still learn new tricks.
What about...
Gil smacks of complication. Might take some unraveling. KALLO and SUVI seem busy. I hope they aren't all work, work, work. Who's left?
Well, there's...
Oh, right, Cora. What's her deal? Is she as prim and proper as she comes across?
Either of these are good answers.
Oh, is it my turn to talk?
Ha! Sorry. Yeah, I should work on my motor.
You might find that people reveal themselves more freely if you give them a chance. Cora included.
She is a hard ass,
Really
though.
good advice.
There's also Lexi, our doctor. She's an Asari.
Oh, I'll get around to her. All in all, seems like a decent bunch.
You really are actively avoiding her, huh? What you working on?
You really won't tell me what you're working on?
That's right. Next question.
That was short!
What drew you to the Remnant?
Are you kidding? It's evidence of a sophisticated species no one knows anything about. It doesn't get more intriguing than that. There's so much to discover. I want to be the first to figure them out. And the tech, it's on a different scale. If we can appropriate it, who knows what advances we'll make.
Neat, Nexus.
What was it like for you on the Nexus?
Well, I wasn't supposed to be woken up yet. A resourceful accomplice finagled my early thaw. So I kind of lived off the grid. Snuck around, bullshitted my way onto excursions off station. After I found my first remnant ruin, I started, borrowing shuttles.
Oopsie.
After that, I didn't spend much time on the Nexus. I even missed most of the revolt.
Well, that was fortunate then. Is there anybody special? You said somebody woke you up.
You mentioned you came to Andromeda with someone.
Nothing gets by you. Guess that's why you're the pathfinder.
Yep.
Just a friend. The one who woke me up early. But now she's not even that. It's better to venture into the unknown without restraints or entanglements, don't you think?
Why do you have eyebrows? It's something I've been wondering. You seem to have hair eyebrows, and I thought the Asari did not have eyebrows, though I think they are known to draw them on to their faces because it makes other species feel more comfortable that they can see their expressions. I think that Sarah, as I am playing her, would absolutely understand that.
A certain independence might be helpful, yeah.
Exactly. I don't want anything holding me back.
Good to know, but that just smacks of somebody who is very unhappy inside. But anyway, we will leave you to your deal.
You're off the hook, PEEBEE. Good luck with your project.
Thanks. Don't be a stranger.
Was I rolling my eyes? Do I have anything fun to scan in this room? Because it's full of remnant doodads. No? Really? Alright then. I believe, in that case, we can now talk to SUVI? She there? Oh, there she is. And KALLO. Talk to this one first. SUVI!
Scans of the Scourge. All that dark energy twisting and turning on itself. It's splendid.
It is pretty in, like, a dark way. I mean, like, it's pretty until you remember it can kick your ass, but yeah.
I suppose it is a rather darkly beautiful phenomenon. Darkly beautiful. I like that. Helios is incredible, isn't it? Not just constructs like the Scourge and the Remnant Vaults. Just all of it. So alien. A constant reminder of the divine intelligence behind all creation.
What?
You mean a god? Yes, I believe in a higher power. I know it's a little odd.
Quite.
But I am a scientist because science brings me closer to something greater than myself.
Oh, I hope that I'm not going to be mean about it, but I respectfully disagree. I mean, I'm glad if that's the reason you got into science, but I really hope you're not expecting to find a man in a fluffy white beard at the end, because I can tell you right now, that's not what you're going to find.
There's nothing about the universe that suggests a divine intelligence. And most of what we've seen in Helios is artificial, as you said yourself.
Yes, but we're creative beings. Whoever made the remnant was too. Why should that be proof against a god? Wouldn't a true creator want to pass on the drive to invent?
I like her, but not like that. You know what? You can believe whatever you want. I think, though, that claiming that because someone else invented something super cool that you don't understand means that there must be a god is also not really proof of that either. I mean, I get that I get what you're saying, but unfortunately that's an argument that a lot of deeply religious people, and I'm not religious. I mean, if you are, that's fine, but no. But you know, the burden of proof is on you, SUVI. I don't have to prove to you that there isn't one. You've got to prove to me that there is. And just saying, well, wouldn't a creator put the drive to create into his creations is not a really valid argument, because out of, like, just using the Earth as an example, out of all the creatures on it, the ones that have created the most are, I mean, there's other creatures that do create things, like the bowerbird does, and ants and bees create things, but the ones that have created simply for the sake of making stuff and have this innate drive to make something that we don't quite know what it is we want to make, but we want to make a thing, is humans. And that's one out of, oh my god, how many billions of species are on our planet? Like, bugs alone, there's like there's so many we haven't even discovered either. So, I mean, just saying because we want to is not proof of God either. Because we're one of billions of species. I mean, it's religion in and of itself just comes from a point of view of humans being superior to everything else from the get-go, which is a little flawed because there's plenty of shit that we're terrible at that other creatures are super good at. Like, our sense of smell is shit. Our sense of hearing, terrible. Our eyesight is nowhere near as good as some other creatures. We can see, like, a limited range. Most human beings can only see a very limited range of color. You'll probably find that a lot of artists, and not trying to, like, stroke the ego, but myself included, can see more colors and identify more colors, separate more colors out than other people. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've lost my train of thought, but I don't think saying that you want to make things is proof of a deity, SUVI, but I'm not gonna tell you, not gonna berate you and be like, haha, you're dumb. Because if it helps you sleep at night and it gives you drive to do things, you can believe whatever you want.
You
Just
are
don't hurt
welcome to
anyone.
your beliefs. It's good to have different voices on the team.
Yes.
Excellent. Oh, speaking of the team, I should update the folks back in the Nexus with the latest reports.
Our team
We'll
got
talk
bigger.
later.
We'll talk now.
I saw pictures of the vault. Astounding how big it is. And how much of it didn't you see? What if it's way bigger? What's all that space for?
Parties! I like that answer, but I don't think that's a good way to respond to SUVI. SUVI seems like she doesn't quite get sarcasm sometimes, but that's okay. So it could go way down into the planet.
With what it has to do, it could go thousands of miles below the surface of the planet.
Or completely span it. An underground network. Just a thought, of course. I wouldn't even know where to start hypothesizing how it all works. The remnant builders, whoever, whatever they were, accomplished something far beyond us.
I guess I should get this out of the way.
When did you start believing in a god?
My parents were both scientists. My home was ruled by rationality. So when I became a teenager, let's just say that while other kids found Batarian music, I found God.
But your work as a scientist
Convinced me even more, especially when I got into molecular biology, physics. The patterns I kept seeing over and over again, they were like an artist's watermarks. God, to me, is an artist, an inventor, not someone checking to see if I brush my teeth.
That is a refreshing outlook, though, I must say, even if I don't agree with you. But primarily because the human brain loves seeing patterns. It's one of the reasons we survived as long as we did. So we sometimes find patterns even when there's really no reason for there to be some. But I like at least your outlook on religion more than some of the ones I've heard. So again, if you're religious and you're watching, that's fine. Just don't hurt other people or give them shit for not believing. That's all I ask. Science team on the Nexus?
I take it you work closely with the Nexus science team?
I try to keep in contact with them. We discuss anything and everything we discover out here. After all, many brains are better than one, and Dr. Aridana is worth 2 or 3 at least. I work best when I have other people to bounce ideas off of.
Was she the Asari who, like, was kinda high when we met her? I'm assuming that's who she's talking about. I don't remember their name. Have you been scanning?
I'm still fuzzy about how we managed to see Andromeda all the way from home.
It confused me too. I mean, the light lag would have made any data 2 million years out of date. So I asked Dr. Aridana, and she told me, well, it wasn't her tech that did it. It was the Geths.
Really?
You're kidding. Those killer robots we had in the Milky Way?
Those exact ones. The Initiative obtained data from an array in deep space, a Geth construct. According to Aridana, the Geth rebuilt a mass relay and turned the approach corridor into an FTL sensor.
FTL sensor. So a faster-than-light telescope? They could survey Andromeda as it was?
Not exactly, but it cut down the lag by enough. We don't know why the Geth were interested in observing beyond the galaxy, though. Maybe we'll never know.
Yeah, it'd be kind of, like, impossible to figure that out. Because, 600 years. But that's really interesting if the Geth did that. It makes me wonder if... Because I've had discussions numerous times, even though I haven't played the games yet, I know enough about the Geth, that I've had conversations with my friends and my boyfriend about their motivations and what they are and who they are and things like that. And I often have wondered if the Geth knew what was coming, and thus were... At least some of them were like, fuck this shit, man, we gotta leave. Did my dad know, you think?
Did my dad know about this? Why didn't he tell me?
It's possible he didn't know. The Geth are isolationist and hostile.
Yep.
Using the info, even obtaining it in the first place, probably crossed a lot of boundaries.
That probably means we stole it!
What do you know about the Remnant's terraforming network?
From what I can tell, the vault is designed to adjust almost everything about a planet. Climate, pH of the soil, atmosphere composition. There's even evidence that it can propagate life.
Cool.
If we can figure out how to control the vaults, we could turn these worlds into perfect habitats.
We should be careful about doing that, though, because it's not like there isn't other wildlife on those planets, and we also have not met, but I'm sure we will, bumped into other creatures that live there. I mean, it would be great to fix the issues, but we'd have to do that carefully, or we'd wipe out all life on the planet. I mean, I don't know. Maybe maybe you could use the vault to help the creatures on the planet evolve quicker too, I guess. Because it sounds like you could do that. I don't even know how you would, but maybe help them evolve quicker to be able to survive those dramatic changes. Because, I mean, from the looks of stuff, it looks like some of the vaults, like the one that we saw on our first planet and the one on Eos, were either broken or going completely out of control and fucked the planets up completely, and life still managed to survive. But it doesn't seem like it's much life. It seems like only a few species. It's basically like a Permian extinction kind of event, which, if I remember correctly, destroyed almost all life on our planet. It left behind only a tiny handful of creatures that eventually evolved into the crazy amount that we have now. But yeah, The Scourge? Do we have any info on that?
What do you know about the Scourge?
We established that it's artificial. Someone put it there. Or they did something that caused its creation. We don't know why. That's still a mystery.
I think, just from, like, looking at where we saw it, because it seemed to be coming off of Habitat 7, I think that when vaults break down, they cause the Scourge. I think they're a byproduct of the machine fucking itself up, but yeah. We'll talk later.
I should get back to things.
Sounds good.
See you later, SUVI. That's not the button you use to walk. What's that? Oh, that's my emails. I should check those in a moment. See what we got. That is not an email terminal. But first, have to talk to KALLO, who we only saw when we took off. Yo.
Glad you stopped by. You'll pardon me if I keep an eye on our vector.
Lovely to see you,
That's probably smart.
Nothing like being on the bridge of your very own ship, is there?
Get how detailed these eyes are that you don't normally see without the brightest light shining on it. I love it. Like, I didn't even know they had pupils. I think I mentioned this before the first time I saw him. But I had always assumed that these guys just had big, black frog-like eyes. They have an eye, or they have a slit iris in there. That's so cool! That speaks possibly of night vision, so maybe their planet had low light. It's exhilarating.
I could stand here and drink in that view all day.
It's space!
When I was test piloting the ship back home, I often did. Of course, it took a whole team to build the Tempest. I was the only one to come to Helios, though.
Why did you?
What can I say? We poured our hearts into a ship that wouldn't realize her potential until Andromeda. I could have stood on the shore and waved goodbye, or took the leap to see how it all turned out.
You know what? I like that. I probably would have done... Sarah would have done the same, probably. I mean, she kind of did. So.
I get it. Like leaving a good story half finished.
The team liked that one of us was going. It felt right after all we went through. I remember Serena debugging line 2281 over and over, chewing that green pencil. Tion and O'Connell arguing equations, tapping on the console, 3 drips of coffee on the corner.
You remember all that?
Oh, yes. Solarians have photographic memories, and apparently mine's unusually sharp. Like my past is still happening. Though I suppose with the Solarian arc missing, you might not get many chances to compare.
Well, at least you have, like, some... It's kind of comforting, I suppose, given all the time that went by. Have we had any word on the arc?
Did you hear anything about the Ark back on the Nexus?
Not a peep. Isn't that strange? You'd think there'd be something. Not that I dislike your company, but it's lonely without other Solarians.
There's Tan! There's Tan. Oh, man. I'm gonna say there's Tan. But, like, in all honesty, I don't feel insulted at all that you're like, but other Solarians. Because, I mean, if you were the only human on a ship full of non-humans, and you had no idea where any of your people were, you'd probably feel uncomfortable too. Humans, we want company and we want to be with other humans, and there's always going to be that urge to, even if you prefer the company of other creatures. Like, even people who are, because there's this common misconception, but like people who are antisocial, that they just don't want to be around people, and some antisocial people think that they don't need human company either. I've met a couple of them, but you do. It's just everybody needs varying degrees of it. So, I can completely understand. But there is Tan, KALLO.
Cheer up, KALLO. We'll always have Director Tan.
That snide little bureaucrat? All the more reason to find the others.
Ha!
I should get back to it, but thank you. I was afraid the Tempest would be mothballed after we lost your father. We built her for this. She deserves to be in a Pathfinder's hands. Please, come by any time.
Oh, I like KALLO. Sweet little dude who's taller than I am. Talk to me.
What can I do for you?
I love that you fucking hate him. I fucking hate him too. I get his position, but he's such an asshole. Do you have any stories about the Tempest?
If you helped to build the Tempest, you must know plenty about her.
Just about everything. By memory. It was quite the effort to get her working. The initiative needed absolutely up-to-date technology, which we all had to coordinate, and some of it was rather tricky to acquire.
Acquire?
Buy. Legally and above board, of course. Yes. Sadly, the other Pathfinder vessels were lost when the Scourge hit the Nexus. The Tempest is truly unique.
Oh, he's got lots of them. So I should ask these other questions before we go back to this then, because that's going to be like Drac, where it's going to be like, hey, I have 1,000 stories. Oh, hey, kitty, come up here. She's been hopping about. It's gotten so hot. Like, actually, I want to apologize if anybody hears the fan in the background. I hopefully will have cut that out, but it's so hot in here. It's so humid and gross. It's been, like, raining for 2 days, but it hasn't cooled off. It's actually gotten hotter and more humid. I hate it. What about Solarians, though?
You know, I haven't actually met many Solarians.
Careful. Depending who you ask, we're conniving spies, genius researchers, or meddling scientists. We have to pack a lot of living into 40-odd years. Everything gets accelerated. Lines blur. I just hope we don't repeat our old mistakes out here.
I like you, dude. It makes me sad you're only gonna, like, live for another 10 years, man. Aw. Don't want to outlive KALLO. Because I don't really want him to outlive me. I don't want to die early. I mean, anyway. There was a point in there somewhere, but I seem to have lost it. What do you think of everyone else on the ship?
What do you think of the rest of the crew?
Well, I can't talk about SUVI. She's sitting right there.
I'm not listening. You can say whatever you like.
Oh no, I'm not falling for that again.
Okay, well, let's find out what he thinks of everybody. And then we can ask about the Tempest.
What do you think of the rest of the crew?
I'll admit it, Gil's rather irritating. He insists on redesigning systems rather than maintaining them.
He likes to do things his way.
That doesn't make it the right way.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it the wrong way either. I think you need a balance of the two.
What do you think of the rest of the crew?
Liam's quite fun. Not many humans have that kind of energy. I probably shouldn't have told him there are secret compartments in the armory, though. He's been looking all day.
There's actually nothing there, is there?
What do you think of the rest of the crew?
Dr. Tapero seems nice, if quiet. It must be very different here, compared to the Hyperion. Fewer people in stasis shock.
Let's keep it that way.
It's probably refreshing. Let me ask the same question in the same tone again, because this is the one of the very few things where there is not another line of dialogue, just the one.
What do you think of the rest of the crew?
Given Drac's history with Solarians, it's probably better I just stay out of his way. Too bad. That grunion roast he makes smells delicious.
Well, I'm sure if you talk to each other over time, he'll probably... Like, I'm sure he... Like, I get the hostility between the two. Your two races. And there's plenty of guilt, like Kesh said, there's plenty of guilt to go around on both sides. But I'm sure that he doesn't blame you specifically. I mean, given how old he is and how long this has been going on, you weren't even alive. Everybody involved in that, I'm pretty sure, is dead.
What do you think of the rest of the crew?
I like PEEBEE. But I really hope she doesn't lean on the escape pod's manual release by accident.
Is that easy to do?
It's an escape pod. If it's difficult to use, you're doing it wrong.
This is a true thing.
What do you think of the rest of the crew?
Vetra's very kind. She actually got hold of some dried seaweed snacks for me. Said I needed feeding up.
I love Vetra. She's such a sweetheart. Oh, I have a lap full of cat now. Hi, kitty. Oh, she's giving me cat hugs. That's when a cat gives you a little body slam. Where they just push their whole side against you. That's a cat hug. Love it. What about everybody else?
What do you think of the rest of the crew?
I don't talk to Cora much. She always seems so busy.
With plans.
There are things I'd like to ask her about your father, but it never seems like a good time.
Yeah, I mean, you could ask me. But I'm guessing you mean things like, what was it like working with him, whereas I can really only tell you whatever our past was.
What do you think of the rest of the crew?
No, if I gossip anymore, I'll get in trouble.
Okay, so we've gone through everybody. Any more stories about the Tempest?
Tell me something else about the ship.
Her engine's based on the Ark's Odyssey drive, which got us through dark space. The core takes the static electricity it generates and stores it in capacitors. We basically make our own power supply. It took Serena and Tion weeks to get it working on a smaller ship. And a few electrical shocks.
Ow!
Tell me something else about the ship.
Our aerospace engineer was Tianada Vasmore, a Quarian fellow, and
Cool.
absolutely fearless. Once, some Omega scrap dealer pulled the "we don't sell to Quarians" nonsense. Tion found a workaround.
What did he do?
He glued a memory foam to his environmental suit, then, during the negotiations, leaned against the drive core he wanted, very casual. It made a perfect mold of the components, and the scrap dealer was none the wiser.
That is fucking hilarious. I glued a piece of foam to my suit and just leaned on the piece that I wanted. He didn't even notice that I was crushing it and rolling my body side to side to get a perfect 3D imprint, but I did.
Tell me something else about the ship.
The glass on board? It's actually a clear oxide and nanofiber compound. It bends rather than shattering.
How tough is it? We're only an arm's length away from hard vacuum.
Our testing involved 3 drunk Krogan with sledgehammers and a C-Sec battering ram. It's sturdy.
That is a great way to test that, if a little unorthodox. Also, arm's length, and I'm assuming she means her arm, means that it's about... well, I can't give a rough estimate of how long my arm is without a ruler, so I'm not gonna even try. But, like, if you're listening at home, just stretch your arm out, T-pose style. At the tips of your fingers is where the glass would end, and it would begin at your shoulder. That's how thick this window pane is. That's how thick it would have to be, because if it was the width of a normal pane of glass, the pressure inside would just pop it like a bubble. Any more stories about the Tempest?
Tell me something else about the ship.
O'Connell, our systems designer, was running a power distribution model, how power moves through the ship. But he forgot to lock his terminal, and we, added a few embellishments. For 2 days, poor O'Connell was convinced that turning on all the bathroom lights would overload the engine core.
Oh, good lord!
Tell me something else about the ship.
Anything else?
I'm all out of stories for now. Sorry. You'll have to make some new ones.
That's fine. Just wanted to exhaust the dialogue. You're so awesome!
I'll let you concentrate.
You know where I'll be.
Everybody on this ship is so fascinatingly weird. I love it.
Hey everyone! Thanks for watching! If you enjoyed the video and you want to help my channel grow, why not like the video? Or share it with your friends? Want to tell me what you thought? Leave a comment! If you want to see more, why not subscribe? Or enjoy one of the annotated videos? Thanks a bunch, you guys. I couldn't do it without you.